This is from Oslo Garrison, and the title is Strong. I know that you guys have been asked a lot lately, why did Tony Khan sign this guy? So I'm going to add to it. Why the f- did Tony Khan hire Roderick Strong? It looked like Adam Cole was forming some type of a faction with Keith Lee and Roderick Strong, which of course ended up with a Chris Jericho feud and now a bad comedy angle with MJF. So why is Roderick Strong there? He's the most generic of generic indie-looking guys. He's not that young, and I'm not even going to joke about him not selling merch or selling tickets. So, guys, what does Roderick Strong add to AEW?
I think that
another buy. He's a good hand. Yeah, he's a good worker.
They're trying to. Yeah, he's a great worker, but I think that Strong was part of that group that Adam Cole had in NXT.
Undisputed Era.
Right. Who was the other guy?
It was Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly.
Oh, yeah, you got it.
Right. Well, maybe they want to reenact that again, even though I think one of them just left AEW and not the best of circumstances.
Kyle O'Reilly's hurt and Fish left.
Fish, yeah.
All right. But they might just have them two resurrect that magic that they had in NXT and maybe add another guy that wasn't one of the original guys. That's what only thing I'm thinking, because they do have way too many guys and they don't even know what to do with them.
This is from Jose Sanchez, titled Punk Willing to Do Business. Hey, K100, hope everyone is doing well, even that wimp Joe. Doing fine. See below article. See below a wimp and a twerp and a punk. See below article where it's being reported that Punk volunteered for the blood and guts match between BCC and the Elite. Once again, is looking a lot like Punk is willing to do business and the Elite are being petty. Now, I'm a big Punk fan, so my opinion is biased, but at some point you have to think this is going to start to trickle down. If EVPs are going to start to not do what's best for business, why should anyone else? Also, indirectly, this is beginning to look like Tony Khan doesn't have his house in order. What does K100 say? P.S. Disco, once again, I've served my suspension. Now I'm at a loss for words and ideas. I apologize for insinuating that you gave my friend an exotic treatment at different strokes. I offered to perform a cover of Easy Lover in your honor, and I offered to gift you all 6 seasons of Queen of the South on Blu-ray. And all have been met with suspensions and disregard. Conan, given that you are the voice of reason, will you kindly accept my apology on Disco's behalf?
No.
No. We're going to suspend the guy again for another week, too.
Jose, man.
Yeah, because I don't like his tone there.
And he tried to use me to turn on DI. What
was he asking
when
about?
I want to turn on him.
Punk, according to Fightful Select, Punk reportedly pitched
Right.
Mm-hmm.
It's Fightful Select that Sean Ron Sapp.
Sean Ross Sapp. So I will say that I was absolutely correct once again. That I was not interested in Punk coming back because if Punk wasn't going to come back and do the angle with the Elite, I think it was fall flat. Once again, AEW. What did the Collision do? 525,000 this week, Joe?
I didn't see
that.
Yeah,
it's doing Rampage numbers.
Yeah, can you look it up?
Yeah, I'm looking it up right now.
I think it is 525. But bro, the show is basically Rampage. It's easy to miss. Nothing's going on. I could not, bro. To think that you can't target a more specific market, okay, than doing Punk versus Joe, which is for Ring of Honor fans from 20 years ago. Who would be interested in that right now? Besides Ring of Honor fans from 20 years ago.
They're hardcore fans.
Yeah, it's like
that's what I'm saying. You brought him back, and you immediately just targeted his comeback to your most hardcore part of your fan base. It's this is a tremendous error.
Well, they went back.
Flat. He's not interesting. He's not drawing because he's not doing anything that people care about, which has been the problem with this guy from day one. There.
Well, they went back up to 580,000, which was up 28% from week 3, which you remember was 452 the week before, which was rough.
Right, it's terrible the week before.
What was Rampage this week?
580? Did you say, Joe?
580 for Collision, yeah.
What was it? The week before? Not last week, but the week before last week.
Hang on, I was looking up the other thing. Collision ratings bounce back. Week 1 was 816. Last week was 452. So what was week 2?
Wasn't it like 6 something? I know it was a big drop off.
Yeah,
but basically it looks. It looks
595 for the set.
Okay.
So you got 595 on Rampage, right?
No, it's Collision.
Collision. Well, and Rampage is basically the same numbers.
580. Yeah, Rampage. According, I went up on the torch here. One of the lowest viewerships for the series when in its regular time slot. So they drew 368, which is down from 450 the prior week. One of the lowest ratings for the series.
If you put Collision and Rampage together this week, how much do they put together? What is that number?
960 or something like that.
Yeah,
combined
960. All right.
Well, yeah, it looks like a Rampage.
I want to make a point, and then so 960, and then Dynamite is what?
800,000, 900.
So we're talking about 1.7, right? 1.7 million. So I think, I'm just thinking here, that probably to that network, for better for worse, they're like, we're getting 1.5 million viewers off of these 3 shows. Right. And Dynamite always seems to do like in the top 2 or 3 shows of the night and in cable. So as we had read the other day when Dave Meltzer answered me, that until they get down to like 500,000 for Dynamite, they're not going to be worried. That's according to Uncle Dave, right? Mm-hmm. So it's almost like Feeney, when he sells our show here, our big show is the main show. That's what gets the most numbers. But our other shows do good. So he'll take the K100 Talks, the K100 Sports, the Rehash Show, and he'll say, this is how many listeners we have for these shows, which is a good number, right? And I think that's kind of what they're doing over there. Because, right, bro, it's very hard to get a TV deal, especially for a wrestling company. And they got 3.
Well, let me make a point. It seems like these numbers are early. It's that Rampage did its lowest number in a long time, right?
Yeah, that's right, what it said.
Bro, so what Collision is going to be doing is hurting Rampage's numbers. I don't think it's going to have any effect on Dynamite. Right, but it's definitely going to be. It looks like it's hurting Rampage.
Right.
Because it's back-to-back nights. So a lot of your fans are only going to choose the one to watch one or the other.
Yeah, but the thing is, let's say, and I think this number was too high, but let's say this from Uncle Dave. Let's say that they're getting 75 million for that show. How do you say no to that?
Well, if you're getting 75 million, I don't think you can say no.
Right.
But
well,
you could probably be getting more if the show was better. That's my point. When you go to renegotiate, they're going to be like, well, your numbers didn't go up. They stayed good. You didn't lose, but you haven't gained anything, and that's why I always say you got to gain fans. That way you make more money.
Yep.
But they just kind of like to their hardcores, they actually overserve them.
Well, think about this.
But okay, overserve them all you want. Serve the mainstream too. The people
Eric Bischoff had a great quote. Okay, right. and you look, and he's absolutely right. The way they're marketing the show. Eric says this, that basically AEW is a well-funded hobby because Tony is fine doing a show for this fan base and getting accolades from this fan base because he's not doing any of the tools that you need to do to grow the fan base. But he's fine with that. So it is basically just a well-funded hobby because they're not, maybe they are trying to get viewers, new viewers, but they're not succeeding. So I don't know if that's what they're really trying to do.
We've said the reasons why they're not succeeding. Of course, the detractors will always say that we know what we're talking about.
You're getting too far away, Conan.
Yeah, you're breaking up a little.
Okay, but here's the thing. They're not succeeding because they're not drawing their audience. But maybe, if they told them, all right, as long as you're not doing 500,000 or whatever it was that we figured out, you're good. And he's thinking, I'm doing 800,000. I don't got nothing to worry about. But at the end of the day, you shouldn't be content with what you have. You want to grow so you can make more money, and you can get more money when you renegotiate,
Yep.
Next one is from Eddie Gonzalez. It's entitled Grumpy Disco. Good morning. Let me ask you a question and stuff and everything. It seems lately that Disco has been grumpy and in a rush when recording content for K100. Could the bed sores Disco has developed from being in his bed all day have anything to do with his grumpiness? P.S. Disco wants better questions from the mailbag, yet his first question for Karrion Kross was, perfect example, what's your favorite scary movie? Your friend till the end, Eddie Gonzalez.
Let's suspend that guy for a week. Mark that down.
What would be the reason on that one?
Question. What's his question?
Disrespectful?
Could it be bed sores that make you grumpy? That's basically.
Yeah. That's the question? All right. Now, we'll suspend that guy. He didn't really have a question.
Bad question, disrespectful. What would be the reason?
I think there is no reason. He gave misinformation. Says I've been grumpy.
All right.
I've not been grumpy.
Next up is Nick Davis. Title is Jay White. Hey, K100 crew, hope everything is going well. I've been watching Jay White through his career, and I'm truly impressed with him. I was wondering what you guys have to say about him and if you have any stories or encounters with him. Love the show, and keep on keeping it 100. From Nick. Jay White.
Know nothing about the guy, except he was in... I mean, I heard he was, the same as everybody else. I heard he was I've never seen him in New Japan. He got hired by AEW. He was like, they said it was a game changer, and he came on TV, and I wasn't, he didn't really stick out to me at all. That's about it. I don't know.
Well, I had heard of Jay White that he was really good, and I saw him in Impact while I was there on my last time that I was there, and he did put together good matches. Very nice guy. And then when I went to AEW, he was there, and he was also very nice. But like Disco said, they said, oh, he was this real big thing that was going to be a big star and blah blah blah. But bro, at the end of the day, it's not his fault. How many wrestlers are not used correctly on that show? And it almost reminds me of WCW. Look at all the mid-card talent we had, from Disco to Rey Mysterio to Chris Jericho to everybody in between. And you could only get to a certain level. It wasn't our fault. You know what I'm saying? So I can't put this totally on Jay, because I think what they've asked him to do, he's done a good job of us, except he's not killed those killer promos that make you stand out from everybody else.
Next
what
one
would you
is,
say, Joe?
I'm kind of in the same boat with Disco. I've only seen him a little bit. And when he started becoming one of the top guys in New Japan, to say after I stopped watching, because, Kenny and the other guys had moved on. AJ had moved on before that. Those are the guys I was watching for. So, I mean, he's impressive on TV. He can have a good match, but that's really all I know about him,
Is it true that for a while you had a Golden Lovers thermos and blanket set?
Yeah, and a watch, too. The watch was nice.
The watch, too. That is tremendous.
Yep. All came in the gift bag.